Chapter 9, Archer's POV. Trigger warning, this is a continuation of the previous trigger. Depictions of a character being drugged. Okay, look Charlotte, I said as I grabbed her small shoulders and pushed her towards an open chair, you are going to sit right here and not move, got it? The second we are done back there I'll come right back and take you home, okay? I watched as she tried to smile towards the rookie. I could tell she hated this. Charlotte had always been a quiet girl and I never saw her in any social settings alone. She was surrounded by her family or those two annoying girls. Either way, it was like she was a princess that needed to be guarded. When she looked back towards me her eyes almost did me in. The large brown orbs were so filled with worry that I felt some primal caveman urge to grab her and protect her. I grimaced at that thought. She wasn't my girl or my responsibility even. Besides, she was sitting in the middle of a crowded room, what's the worst that could happen? Without really meaning to, I reached out and placed my hand on her thigh. She was wearing jean shorts and I was thrown by how soft her skin was. I really wanted to run my hand up higher but stopped myself. What the fuck am I doing? This is Ollie's little sister. So instead I gave her a little squeeze and said, okay, we'll be right back. I followed the rookie out the back door, flexing my hand to release the residual heat that lingered from Charlotte's thigh. By the looks of it, the rest of our team were already here. Wanting to get this over with as quickly as possible I stayed back by the door and waited. Tyler was standing in the middle of the deck smirking at everyone, so I assumed that whatever idiotic plan tonight held was his doing. Alright, boys. Tyler began, it's time to decide who the true winner of the rookie race is. Obviously, we couldn't do this at the pep rally since Dean Thomas has been cracking down on hazing rituals. But thanks to our Sigma Pi brothers we were able to do this here. I rolled my eyes. Of course, this was some dumb hazing thing. My thoughts wandered to Charlotte currently wearing a rookie's jersey. If Tyler's idiotic plan included the girls getting hazed too, he had another thing fucking coming. So why the fuck did they have to bring the girls here, Tyler? I spat from my spot in the back. Patience Johnson. I'm getting there. So, boys, each rookie brought a girl here tonight wearing their jersey. It is now our job to decide which girl is the hottest. The most fuckable, if you will. The rookie that brought the hottest girl is the official winner of the rookie race and doesn't have to do DD duties for the next 3 parties. Now let's hear it. Who do y'all think wins? I felt my blood boil at the thought of them all staring at Charlotte like a piece of meat. I glared over at that idiot rookie Matt or whatever for bringing her here. I was slightly appeased that he looked just as pissed as me, but I wasn't letting him off the hook yet. I vote for number 2. Her tits were fucking huge. No way man, Tyson's girl was a babe. Yeah right boys, Emmett's girl takes it from me. The little one. She looks like a prude, she barely smiled. Those are the best ones man, the hot virgins. My shoulders tensed when I realized that they were talking about Charlotte. Fuck this bullshit. Charlotte is off limits, I said before I could stop myself. My voice was low but it cut through the bullshit instantly and everyone turned to look at me. Tyler stared at me for a second, you putting claims on that one, QB? I'm not putting claims on shit. I'm just telling you that anyone who lays one finger on that girl is going to have to deal with me. My teammates all stared at me with shock and apprehension. They had all, at some point, experienced what dealing with me entailed, and I'm sure none of them want to do it again. I had also never showed any interest in a girl before, except for one-night stands. Interest? Is that where these fucking urges to protect Charlotte come from? Am I interested in her? No way. I mean fuck, she's hot obviously. But she's my best friend's little sister and a family friend. We may not be close, but this is definitely coming from some sense of responsibility to her family. The boys slowly started to deliberate again, but no one mentioned Charlotte, so I tuned them out. As I leaned against the door I felt the knob jiggle against my back. I turned slightly to see if anyone was coming out, but the door didn't open. I furrowed my brow when I heard a thump on the other side. Was someone listening to us? That's all we needed, was for someone to overhear the entire USC football team acting like sexist pigs. I stepped back to swing the door open, but when my hand reached for the knob I felt someone on the other side turn it as well. Oh my God, Charlotte? Charlotte! Fuck! Someone help me! As soon as the shrill voice of a girl rang out, I swung the door open and froze at what I saw. Charlotte was slumped on the ground, practically unconscious, as her roommate stood over her trying to yank her back up. I could feel my teammates crowding around me, but all I focused on was Charlotte. I think she has been drugged or something. Her roommate yelled at us, "She needs to get to a hospital." Those words spurred me into action and I felt the logic return to my body. Swooping down, I grabbed Charlotte and held her close to my chest. Her head bobbed slightly as she tried to look at me, which made me feel a tiny bit better. "Okay, all rookies," I yelled, instantly getting the freshmen's attention. "You are all going to find the girls you brought here and get them home safe. And for fuck's sakes, make sure they are coherent." I didn't stop to check if they had listened to me before continuing. I shouted at the rookie that brought Charlotte, "Take Charlotte's roommate home." Finally, I turned to the rest of my team, who all stared back at me with faces that mirrored my own anger. "Shut this fucking party down. And if you find anyone with roofies, beat the shit out of them and get me their name." Not wanting to waste another second, I held Charlotte tight and raced around the house to my truck. As I moved to the passenger seat to buckle her in, Charlotte began mumbling against my shoulder. "Shh, it's okay Charlotte, I'm going to get you help, just try to stay awake," I said in the most soothing voice I could muster up. Once she was buckled, I booked it around the truck and hopped in. I took one quick breath to calm my nerves, because I knew it wouldn't help Charlotte if I couldn't get her to the hospital in one piece. Then we were off. Arch! I heard the softest mumble come from the passenger seat. "Hey, yeah sweetheart, I'm here," I said as I kept my eyes locked on the road. "Arch, don't tell. It's okay Charlotte, just breathe and try to stay awake for me." "No," she said louder, pulling my gaze from the road to check on her. She was slumped into a pile in the bucket seat, but she was trying to keep her eyes locked on me. "Okay Charlotte, it's okay. What were you trying to say?" "Don't tell." "Don't tell who?" As I said it, I realized who she most likely meant. "Don't tell your parents?" Charlotte let out a soft sigh and closed her eyes briefly as she nodded. All of the energy left her body as she melted lower. It was like she had only been staying awake to tell me that. Fuck. Don't tell her parents that their daughter is in danger? I don't know if I can do that. Deciding to cross that bridge when I came to it, I pushed on the gas and continued on. Finally, I could see the lights of the emergency entrance shining in front of me as I swung my car into a space and shot out of my seat. I ripped open Charlotte's door and tried to keep my panic at bay when I saw she was completely out now. Her chest lifted up and down, but it looked slow and labored. I scooped her back into my arms and ran through the doors. I must have made a commotion, because a nurse came running over instantly with a questioning gaze. "I think she has been drugged," I panted, "please help her." "All right sir, just place her on that stretcher and we will get her help," the nurse replied evenly. I turned to the stretcher against the wall and gently placed Charlotte down on the sheets. I felt so helpless now that we were here and there was nothing else I could do. So I just stood there staring at her, trying to calm my breathing down, and brushing her hair with my fingers. More nurses were running towards us, and I knew they were about to pull her away from me. So before they could, I leant down and kissed Charlotte's temple. "You're going to be okay sweetheart, just hold on." Okay, that was one of my shorter chapters. But it just felt right to end it there. This is my first time putting my writing out there for other people to see, and I was not anticipating feeling this self-conscious. For some reason, I am very stressed out about chapters being too long and then too short. So if you're reading this, feel free to let me know if that's something you notice as a reader. Or as usual, any and all feedback would be appreciated. E.I.M